How's it going, everybody? Your Spartan Alphazulu here, bringing you more RU action, more Wi-Fi battle action against Keith. And looking at his team, he's got a good team. Arcanine, Cloyster, Lycanroc Dusk. Those are some pretty intimidating Pokemon. And you saw my team, so you know I'm probably going to end up leading with Machamp. But I decided to go a different route here. I'm going to lead with my Noivern, just because I wasn't sure what to open up with against a team like that. He's going to lead with his Arcanine. And Arcanine is a very awesome offensive Pokemon, especially in the RU tier. And it does have some hidden gems. It's not always an offensive Pokemon, which you'll see shortly. He's going to call it back, going into Florges, and Florges is going to take the Hurricane. It does a good amount of damage and gets a Confusion. But it doesn't do enough to where, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. It's not going to two-co it or three-co it even by the looks of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the U-turn, getting some pivot tempo. And even then, Florges is a fairy type. I don't want to get hit with a Moonblast super effectively. So I'm going to U-turn, getting some pivot tempo, bringing in my Registeel, and I know that Registeel can take a Moonblast or whatever this freaking thing is going to do. He ends up going for the Moonblast, and Registeel is going to tank this fairly well because it's an awesome special defensive wall. For those of you that are wondering, my Registeel is special defensive. I think it's a calm nature, 252 HP, 252 special defense, and then the remaining in defense, because even though you do not put any EVs in his defense, he has an awesome defensive stat. It's well over 300. He's going to bring back the Florges, bringing in Arcanine, and that's just kind of a common move. His Arcanine can threaten my Registeel with its super effective fire attacks. So I'm going to switch it out, going in to Banette. And I'm going to switch out Banette because, well, I had a feeling he was going to call back the Arcanine, and I'm going to go back into Registeel, and I was wrong. So he ended up going for the Will-O-Wisp, which sucked. And, against on Registeel, that's not going to affect me too much because all Registeel has is Seismic Toss. So I'm not too worried about that. But that let me know right away that this Arcanine is not offensive. It is the defensive wall set. And my buddy Grandpappy used to run this set back in the Diamond and Pearl days, and it was an awesome freaking set that caught a lot of people by surprise. So the common moveset is Will-O-Wisp, Flamethrower, Morning Sun, and Extreme Speed, or some kind of other move there. But you do have to watch out for it because it's surprisingly a very, very good defensive wall. He's going to switch out Arcanine, calling me on the Stealth Rocks, and the Magic Bounce is going to deflect those Stealth Rocks back against my team, putting me at a very big disadvantage. The momentum has just been on his side of the field ever since the start of the match. At least that's how it feels. I have not gotten any momentum going here. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Seismic Toss because I don't see Espeon doing anything at all to Registeel, and he's going to call back Espeon, bringing in, I wonder why I switched. I really had no reason to switch. I could have gone with the Seismic Toss. Anyways, he's going to bring in Umbreon, and Umbreon against a Noivern. I kind of see Umbreon getting the upper hand here because Umbreon is an awesome wall in and of itself. But I'm going to defog, getting rid of those Stealth Rocks that I set up. And that was on me. I completely forgot about the Espeon. He's going to go for the Wish, and that's another annoyance because, well, Umbreon is a good Wish granter. It's a good Wish user, Wish maker. I don't know what the heck they call it. So I'm going to switch out. I could have gone for the U-turn, probably. I should have. And I'm going to bring Machamp back in because, well, Umbreon can't do much of anything to Machamp. But he goes for the Yawn, and that sucks because now I can't keep Machamp in because he'll fall asleep, and I don't want a sleeping Machamp. That would just make him completely useless to me right now. I'm going to switch out, going into my Babarkle, and he's going to go for the Protect. And I should have set up right here, but I did not want him to Wish. So I could have gone for the Shell Smash, but I didn't want to hit a Wish and then Protect. He's going to go for the Foul Play, expecting me to go for a Shell Smash, netting a critical hit, which that was a good move on my part because I think had I gone for the Shell Smash, increasing my attack and special attack, the Foul Play with that crit probably would have taken my Babarkle, out of the match. He's going to go for the Wish this time, and I can get Machamp in on a fresh set. So he didn't get hit with a Yawn, and now I can go for a Dynamic Punch, and he's probably going to bring in Florges, so maybe I should have gone for the Bullet Punch. But, oh well. I went ahead and went with the Dynamic Punch. Getting Confusion on a Florges is not that bad at all. Not to mention, Machamp's holding an Assault Vest, so Florges doesn't threaten it too much. I probably could have kept Machamp in, but that Wish is just going to undo all the damage I've dealt to it, which sucks. He's going to go for the Aromatherapy with Florges, getting rid of the Toxic that I hit his Arcanine with. And that Toxic was actually pretty awesome. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge, and that's not going to do much of anything to Florges. It's going to deal a good amount, but the leftovers is just going to put it back to where it's frustrating to deal with. I need to get rid of this Pokemon, and the one thing I can think to do is to bring in Banette and Gunk Shot it to death. It's going to snap out of confusion, hitting my Banette with a Moonblast, and thankfully it's not going to take it out of the match, which that was very, very fortunate for me, because if it did take it out, I didn't get to Mega Evolve it, and not even that, I didn't get to hit anything with a Destiny Bond. So I'm going to Mega Evolve Banette and go for the Gunk Shot because I know I'm faster than this Pokemon. Despite Banette being slow, it is faster than your normal average wall. Gunk Shot is going to net me a pretty big break here, knocking the Florges out of the match and giving me first blood against Keith. So that was a much needed break for me. I'm glad I got it out of there. He's going to bring in the Umbreon, and I could have probably gone for the Destiny Bond here, but I didn't want to use it on Umbreon. I wanted to save it for something else. It's a good thing I didn't go for the Destiny Bond because he's going to go for the Yawn. But I was able to knock off its item, which I think it was holding leftovers. I can't remember. Or maybe I didn't knock anything off at all. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm going to go back into Machamp. He's going to switch out, going back into Arcanine, and now I want to get Machamp back because I don't want to get hit with a Will-O-Wisp. If this was just a regular average, well, even if it was just a regular average Arcanine, I would probably call Machamp back because I don't want to get knocked out from a Flare Blitz or anything like that. So now I'm going to go back into Registeel, and that Will-O-Wisp, is not going to do anything to Registeel because it's already burned. So now I can go for the Seismic Toss. I can go for the Toxic, which I probably should have done because Flamethrower was not doing much of anything. I made the big mistake here of switching. Flamethrower is actually going to knock my Mega Banette out of the match, and that really sucked. Even though it wasn't that big of a deal, I lost a lot of momentum there because, I mean, Mega Banette deals with a lot of Pokemon. I'm going to go for the Liquidation, hoping to take it out, but defensive Arcanine tanks it like a champ, and it's going to nom on that berry to put its health way up there, and Will-O-Wisp is just going to cripple any chance I had of Babarkle taking this Pokemon out. I should have gone with the Z-Move. My Babarkle is the Z-Move Shell Smash set that you can get on Smogon, but I didn't want to waste the Z-Move on Arcanine. Now I'm just going to use it to use it, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Tectonic Crush, I think is what it is. But at this point, it kind of just doesn't matter. Continental Crush. There it is. I said Tectonic Crush. But Continental Crush is not going to do much of anything to Arcanine only because I have a burn. I should have just gone with this right at the start, but I really did not want to waste it on Arcanine. However, had I used it, it definitely would have taken Arcanine out of the match. The Z-Move putting Arcanine at very low health, but Morning Sun is just going to put it at around 50% health, netting the damage I just did completely useless. And Arcanine, as I said, was his MVP here. Arcanine was just all over me. Morning Sun again after my Stone Edge miss, which that wouldn't have done anything. Putting Arcanine back at full health. Arcanine is a Pokemon you gotta watch out for. If you have to scout it out to see what type of Arcanine it is, do it. If you have a Magic Bounce, Pokemon like Espeon and you want to risk it, go for it. Even though Arcanine can get affected by a burn because it's a Fire type. I mean, you do have to just kind of predict around it and find out what kind it is. He's going to go into Umbreon. I went for the Shell Smash just to do some kind of damage here, and Low Kick is not going to do anything at all to the Umbreon. He's going to be able to set up a Wish comfortably, and he can just protect and getting his health way back up there. So now, I mean, Umbreon's going to get healed regardless. I'm going to call back my Babarkle just because I should have just let it gone out because he was going to protect anyway and get the Wish off. But I'm going to bring him a Champ to see if I can just threaten this Pokemon out and do something against anything he brings in. And he's going to bring Arcanine back in, hitting me with an Intimidate. I should have gone with the Stone Edge, knowing that he was going to switch. But instead, I went for the Dynamic Punch, and that's not going to do anything at all to a defensive Arcanine. That is amazing. That's just an amazing wall. I kept Machamp in, hoping to get the Confusion Claws, but no. Will-O-Wisp is going to burn my Machamp, and that just pretty much rendered him useless, which is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Stone Edge getting a critical hit, but not taking it out of the match. So this was just bad luck. Bad luck, bad plays, and he was just all over me. Arcanine is just wearing me down and just tanking me. Tanking my entire team, even left and right. I had the chance to take it out. I didn't take it. I should have. I should have gone with the Z move. And another good Arcanine check is actually Slowbro. Even though Arcanine does learn, I think, Wild Charge or Volt Tackle, one of those, Slowbro can probably still take a hit or two from that. But if you are worried about electric type attacks, you should be running an electric type Pokemon or something resistant to it, like Jolteon or something like that. He's going to bring Arcanine back, bring in an Espeon, and Stone Edge, because of my burn, is not going to do much of anything to Espeon. And if anything, if you're going to run Machamp in RU, you can probably get rid of Stone Edge and run Knockoff, because Espeon, another psychic type Pokemon that Machamp can take hits from, it has no way to really dish back a KO without maybe Knockoff or Payback is another example. So I'm going to bring in Babarkle after he takes my Machamp out of the match. Psychic is going to take on my Machamp and take on my Babarkle. Why is that name so freaking hard to say? I'm probably not even saying it right. Either way, if I'm saying it wrong, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm going to bring in Noivern. Psychic is going to knock my Noivern out of the match because of a critical hit. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I'm going to bring in Registeel, which is probably who I should have brought in a long time ago, because, well, Espeon can't do much of anything to Registeel. Psychic is not going to do anything at all, and it sucks that Registeel does not have any form of recovery. You think it would. You would think a Registeel would at least get recover. Granted, if it did get recover, I don't think it would be in the RU tier. I think it would either be RUBL or just straight up UU, maybe even OU. Because, I mean, Mono Steel typing that with very good defensive stats, he's a good Pokemon. So, I don't know. If he had recover, he probably would go straight out of the RU tier. He's going to switch out the Espeon, bringing in the Lycanroc Dusk, and now, I mean, he's he can set up very comfortably here. I can't really do much of anything to the Lycanroc. I only got 2 Pokemon left, Registeel and Shaman. He's going to Swords Dance, making sure that the next move he dishes out is going to knock out my Registeel. And, I mean, he's got time. All I can really do at this point is just Seismic Toss this thing to death, and that's not going to do much of anything. Even if I went for the Toxic, it would have just been wearing it down slowly. I wouldn't have done much of anything to it. So this is pretty much a game right here. Good game, Keith. He is in my Discord server, guys. He is an awesome Wi-Fi battler. This is the only time we battled, but I mean, I'll get my rematch some other time. And, you know, I always do. This is not going to be the first time me and him battle. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Shaman. And at this point in the match, as I said, it's game. And he's going to use the Z move, the Splintered Stone Shards. And that's going to knock my Shaman out of the match. And that's pretty much all she wrote. So a few things I could have done differently in this match. Excuse me. I could have used that Z move to take out that Arcanine. And I could have been just more careful with my switches and what I kept in. Like, I didn't have to keep my champ in against Arcanine. I could have brought Registeel back in. I think I still had Registeel. So that was just like little common mistakes that I made. Although I wouldn't have had to have worried about that if I just took the opportunity to use my Z move against Arcanine, because I would have taken it out of the match. So anyways, I mean, that's just stuff I could have done differently, and I'm not sure if it would have made a difference, but Keith got me. So good game, Keith. I'll get you next time, man. And moving on to this next Wi-Fi battle, I've seen this guy around YouTube here and there, Bardock GG. He's an awesome freaking Wi-Fi battler. He's a PokeTuber, and he actually streamed this battle live on his Twitch. So it was really cool. We met in a Cerebi chat. In the Cerebi Discord. For those of you that are familiar with Cerebi.com, we met in the Cerebi Discord server. He was posting to see if anybody wanted to battle, and I responded. So let's get ready to rock and roll with this battle, and he's going to start off with Smeargle. I'm going to lead with Machamp, and Smeargle is a Pokemon that used to dominate the OU tier, but then it got bumped into an untiered Pokemon, which means it can be used in any tier. And I mean, I just completely forgot about it. I led with Machamp, but I forgot that its common moveset is like Spore, a bunch of entry hazards, and then Baton Pass. But since Baton Pass is banned, he went ahead and went with Parting Shot, which lowers the attack and special attack of the target, and then the Pokemon that uses it switches out. So he's just going to set up all over me with Stealth Rocks, Sticky Web, Spore, and I should have gone with anything else at this point. Stone Edge, Ice Punch, anything else, because it's the third turn of me being asleep, and I'm likely going to wake up, and I went with Dynamic Punch, and I did see that he had a Delmise on his team, so of course he's going to go into that expecting a fighting type attack, and that was just on me. I got a little overly excited there, and I went with Dynamic Punch. I should have gone with Ice Punch, but oh well. So now I'm going to go with Ice Punch. I'm surprised that I went first, being faster than the Delmise, and it's going to do a very considerable amount of damage, but Power Whip is going to tear Machamp up, putting me at 4 health. I know Machamp doesn't like physical attacks, but geez. He's going to switch out into Salazzle, and that's because I was thinking about using Stone Edge here in case he did decide to switch, not wanting to take another Ice Punch. And Ice Punch is not going to do much of anything to Salazzle. I was very upset I did not go with a Stone Edge here. I can't stress how upset I was. Flamethrower is going to knock my Machamp out of the match. This is like the least usage I've had out of Machamp in a while. I'm going to go with Slowbro. I do not see Salazzle doing anything at all to Slowbro, and he's got a sticky web up. That's going to hinder my team big time. I got to find room to get rid of it and get Fortress in here so I can Rapid Spin. He's going to go with Ghost Leopard, who's an awesome Pokemon, awesome offensive Pokemon. Psyshock is not going to do much of anything to it, and I want to switch out because First Impression is an ugly freaking move, and I don't want Slowbro to get the hell knocked out of it. So we're going to switch because Ghost Leopard has a high attack power. Put a choice band on it, and it's just even stupid. I don't know if this Pokemon is banned, but just in case, we're going to switch. He's going to bring, or I'm going to bring Fortress in, and Fortress just tanks the First Impression like a freaking boss. And I'm going to Volt Switch because I know he's got a Domies. He's going to expect a Rapid Spin. So I'm going to go ahead and be safe, go for the Volt Switch, and just get some Pivot Tempo to see if I can put something in that can take this Domies possibly out of the match. Volt Switch. Not going to do much of anything to Domies because of its grass typing. I think that did like 1 or 2 points of damage. And I'm going to put Jolteon in and just see how well this freaking thing takes a Shadow Ball. Because I know it's a ghost type. I know it's slow. I'm not sure on its defenses. Shadow Ball on Domies is not going to take it out of the match. It freaking lived with like maybe 10 or 15 health, and Power Whip is going to finish off my Jolteon. Which I made a change to ensure, Jolteon was holding a Life Orb, but I made a little change to ensure that, you know, the next time I use Jolteon, he'll do some heavier damage. And I'm not going to say what that is. I'm going to bring in my Flygon, going for the Dragon Dance because I don't think that Power Whip would do that much damage. I was actually hoping he would switch or miss. Power Whip, though, is going to tear Flygon a new one, and I'm going to lose Flygon. All of my offensive Pokemon except for my Mega Banette are out. I've got to make some plays here because I'm running out of options. I'm down 3 Pokemon to his 6. So I'm going to Mega Evolve. I know I'm faster than it. I know it's low on health. I'm going to go for the Shadow Claw. I probably should have gone for the knockoff, or could have gone for the knockoff just in case he goes for a switch. But I'm going to Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw is going to knock that Domies out of the match. Finally freaking getting rid of it and putting it out of its misery. Domies did some work against my team. He's going to go into the Florges, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the Gunk Shot, hopefully hitting it and taking it out of the match. He's going to go for a Moonblast, putting my Banette at very low health, but Gunk Shot is going to OHKO Florges, taking it out of the match. So now we're getting somewhere, 2 Pokemon down. I'm so close to catching up here. He's going to bring in his Jolteon, and I'm guessing he does not see this coming because he would not have brought Jolteon in. I'm going to go for the Destiny Bond. Thanks to Prankster, it gets priority over any move that Jolteon uses, and Shadow Ball is going to knock my Banette out of the match. But because it's bonded, I'm going to take it with me, getting rid of one of, I think, his only threat to my Slowbro. So I lost my last offensive Pokemon, but I made some dents in his team. He is 3 Pokemon down to my 2. And even though I only have 2 Pokemon left, I've got a solid defensive core here, and we're going to test that theory that offense may win games, but defense can win championships. So he's going to go ahead and go for the Spore, putting my Fortress to sleep, which I'm okay with. The only threat that he's got to my Fortress is that Salazzle. Smeargle can't do anything to it. Ghost Leopard can't do anything to it. So I gotta predict here. It became a prediction game. That is what this became. I'm gonna switch, going into Slowbro, because I do not see him keeping Smeargle in against my Fortress. And this was a very good move here. He's gonna go for the Parting Shot, which that's okay. I mean, lowering my Slowbro's offensive stats, I'm perfectly okay with that. It does kind of suck because it's gonna draw this match out a little bit longer. But the bad thing is he gets to use his tempo here and go into Ghost Leopard. So I've got some choices here. I can paralyze the Ghost Leopard. I can switch out. I knew I had to take a First Impression here because I wanted to get a burn. I go for the Scald, and hopefully I get the burn. And luckily enough, I do get a burn, crippling the Ghost Leopard's attack, making it just nothing. And now I do not have to worry about it as much, because Ghost Leopard, being a bug type with its high attack stat, I was going to have some issues. Now I don't have to worry about it that much, especially with Slowbro. I switched out going back into Fortress because I wanted to get some regenerator health going, and it's a good thing I did because he went for the Z move, the bug Z move at that. I don't know if this would have taken Slowbro out because of the burn, but I'm very happy I made the switch because I didn't even know this was coming. I didn't suspect at all that this was coming. Savage Spin Out is not going to do anything to Fortress, anything at all, because of my steel bug typing. So that was a good switch on my part because he kind of just wasted his E move, and look at that. It did next to nothing. It just did so much that my leftovers can heal up what the damage was. So that burn just affected it so much. Salazzle is the only real option he has here. Luckily enough, my Fortress wakes up, getting a Volt Switch, giving me some pivot tempo, and I can bring Slowbro in and just pressure his Salazzle. Because after that burn, Salazzle is the best Pokemon he has against my team right now, despite Slowbro just kind of walling it all over the place. I know he's probably going to switch. He does not want to lose Salazzle. He can't. If he loses Salazzle, that's it. That's game. So he's going to switch, going back into Smirgle, and Smirgle's going to take some damage here with the Psyshock. Psyshock is not going to take it out of the match, but it does put it in the orange, giving me, I mean, it's moving forward here. The game's moving forward. I just got to be very careful. I'm going to switch Slowbro out because I cannot afford for Slowbro to get put to sleep. If any Pokemon are going to get put to sleep, it has to be Fortress. I cannot afford to have Slowbro go to sleep here because I need it for Salazzle. Spore is going to put my Fortress to sleep, which I'm perfectly okay with. I'm perfectly okay with that. It has to be Fortress at this point, as I said. So now he can either switch, and that would probably be his best move, but he's gonna go for the Parting Shot. He doesn't really have to switch because of Parting Shot. He can lower my Pokemon stats, and I think I stay in at this point because, well, I mean, I have to. I can't Volt Switch. I need to get my Fortress awake. He's gonna go back into Salazzle, so I gotta switch out here. I cannot afford to lose Fortress, and if he goes for the Fire Blast, Slowbro's gonna take it. He, however, does not go for the Fire Blast. I don't know if I think the Salazzle was holding a Choice Specs or a Choice Scarf of some kind, because I mean, I don't know. He played a big gamble here, going with the Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave is going to do a crap ton of damage to Slowbro, more than I thought, way more than I thought. And Leftovers is going to put me at maybe a little below 50% health. Sludge Wave, and I know I gambled here, is not going to take Slowbro out of the match. Slowbro lives with 11 health, and Psyshock is going to knock Salazzle right out of the match, putting me in a very good place here. That I have no clue how Slowbro took that, because I was for sure thinking I was going to lose it, but I just said, screw it, let's see what happens. I'm going to switch out, getting some health back thanks to Regenerator, and now the game is pretty much won here. His Ghost Leopard cannot break through my defenses. That freaking Smirgle is just a tech Pokemon. It has no real attacks on it. So this is all he has left, is a Ghost Leopard with a burn that cannot break through my walls, and Smirgle just can't do anything. That's pretty much a game at this point. He's just gonna keep going with the liquidation, and I'm just gonna keep using my Gyro Ball until I wake up. And I know he's burned, so eventually he's going to get burned to the point where his emergency exit procs, and that's Ghost Leopard's ability. Emergency exit procking right here. Speak of the devil when it shall appear. Smirgle is going to come back in. And now I'm just going to go for the Gyro Ball. Hopefully I wake up here because I need at this point, there's nothing else to do. He cannot do anything to my defensive Pokemon. And it just made me realize that Slowbro and Fortress just have a solid defensive core with each other. Finally, my Fortress is going to wake up, and Gyro Ball is going to knock the Smirgle out of the match. Now, all he's got left is Ghost Leopard, and instead of he's going to end up forfeiting the game. I mean, there's really nothing he can do. Ghost Leopard has a burn. I could take it out with either Slowbro or Fortress. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch just because I wanted Slowbro to get the kill here, but he's going to go ahead and forfeit. Because, well, I mean, he was going to lose the match anyway. So, very good game, Bardock GG. I'm going to link his channel into the description for this video, guys. Check out his channel. He's awesome. I hope you guys did enjoy the battle, especially this last one. Please be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. And, yeah, that's all there is, guys. I hope to see y'all in my Discord. I appreciate y'all support, and I will see y'all later. Bye!